Hey everybody, tonight we're going to be talking about the mechanical Mahjong by GAO Studio, and it is a slider with a unique track mechanism that can be interchanged. And it's made out of PC and POM. It's injection molded. I was hoping to get a clear bodied version because I thought that was the only options you had. It was a random color order. You did not know what you were going to get. And here I got one that's not transparent at all, but I'm okay with it. We will be taking this apart, comparing it, weighing it, measuring it, doing all the usual fun stuff. So please stick around. We'll have some fun. So again, as you can see off to the right there, that is a sample photo from the website where I bought this. I bought it from 3 Eyes Fidget Toy Store on AliExpress, and they showed all these samples that had the clear body, and I'll put this off to the side for now. And I thought, well, that's great. I didn't really care what color I got, and here I ended up getting something with a pattern on it, and you almost have to look really close at the pattern to see that it's like US dollar bills and coins. And I think that's, that's tacky as can be. The fortunate thing is, you really have to look at it to see what that is. It's so abstract that to me, it just looks like a bunch of squiggly lines. So I'm totally cool with that. There is a small GAO Studio GAO on both sides. Whoops, where's that? Right there. And it's really neat. Does not need any tools to be taken apart. Did not come with any extra parts though. And right now it has this track set up, which is kind of a spaced out or a paragraph setting. Then when I take it apart, I'll show you there's another option for this one. And again, we'll be trying out this, which stores on the inside. Ultra convenient. So what was in the box? Well, here is the box. Like I said, it was a random color order. I did not know what I was going to get. I thought transparent, but no. And now I see on this box, although it may not be easy for you to see, I'll bring it up a little bit closer here. I see wood patterns that look like metal, at least on the outside. It's more visible on this one, sort of a wood grain, sort of a silver color, a darker silver color, and a black. I'm sure they're all plastic. And then what alludes to possibly 4 different texture plates, because on the back of the texture plate, it looks like a penis. This looks like a penis. Anyhow, it says West, and that, of course, matches up with this one here. And the one that's in here is one of these other 3. So it makes me think that there's probably another 2 different texture plates. Don't know. But I will put this up for you to look at if you would like to try to read it. It's going to be hard to do, isn't it? Well, I will just show you each side of the box. Here we go. And it was sealed. And all I got was the bag it came in. GAO Studio Original. Okay, we are going to take this apart eventually, but right now let's just move on and quickly get it weighed and measured. When it is closed, we're at 44 millimeters by 28, and when it's fully extended, we are at 62. Now, weight, it'll be a little different because I don't have this. I just put that on there, right? 0.7, nothing. Oh, there are magnets in this. They're located one here, actually 2 here, 2 here, because they all mate together. But I will just stand this on its end. 18 grams, is it any different like this? About 18 grams. And then it looks like 19 grams because of the magnets. So 18 grams comparisons, we can do that quickly. Here's the CP3, Mackie CP3. Oops, other way. The Metal Toys DZ, Top B. And I'll have these out in a minute, so I figure I'll show these to you too. You may not have these, aren't as popular, but this was the Mini SP by GAO Studio in stainless steel. And the only reason I have this out is because we're going to compare it with a few other things that are also made in polycarbonate and POM from GAO Studio. The other one I have out handy is the GAO Studio Mechanical Cashew version 1. All right, and then may as well bring this out now, the Mechanical Cashew version 2. In case anybody has that, they can compare it with this. And a little bit out of order, but here's the polycarbonate version of the Mini SP. And I'm doing that slightly out of order. Let's do side by side, then side by side, then side by side, and then open them up. About the same height. Alrighty. Okay, let's take this thing apart. To do that, all you have to do is slide it open and then gently sort of just pull at either side, and you'll see that it comes apart. There's 4 magnets holding it together, and when it is together, this square part, rectangular part here, fits into this rectangular part, and that's what controls this and helps it slide back and forth. But now you have to be careful, now that this is off. If this middle part slides out the whole way, the spring and ball will shoot out. So let's put this off to the side. I will show you what to do here if you want to take it the rest of the way apart. The spring and ball are right about here, so I'm going to keep my thumb over top of it as I slide this tab out. That'll keep the ball and spring from flying out. And inside here you'll see this is one of the track plates, and it is loose. It comes out. We'll be switching that out when we put this back together again. Then you have 1 ball and 1 spring, that's all it came with, and 3 holes to choose from to put the ball and spring in. Now this is how it came to me, so it's only running up and down, either this outside track or that outside track. We're going to pull out the extra texture plate, which is stored inside this half. You hear it a little bit, rattles around a little bit. But that has a more dense plate on it. 3 strips, 3 tracks of dense detents. And we're going to put that in when we put it all back together again. This is more or less I always say the dovetail, the dovetail piece. So there's sort of your dovetail joint, and here's the part that slides down into it. And whenever you have your texture plate in here, the spring and ball are being pushed down over top of it. Okay, let's take this side apart. Actually, both of these sides come apart. They both look exactly the same. You don't ever need to take that side apart. For this side, I would recommend something like a nice thin, clean blade. Getting your fingernail in there is going to be hard, and it'll probably bugger it up over time. But if I just get that in there and start it, I'm just trying to be extra careful. It's still new. I know it's only $24, but treat our toys with respect, and they will last a long time. And when you take it apart, right away this spare plate falls out. It gets stored inside there. And you see 6 little pegs. Those fit into these 6 little holes. And it's just a friction fit that holds everything together. Pretty neat. So we'll take this plate that we want to put into storage. You know what I didn't show you? Let me show you that first. So that we know that this plate is going to be nice and dense just to look at it. And no matter what track you put it on, they're all the same. They all line up. So that's what you're going to get out of that. When this arrived, it was running on one of these outside tracks. What you may not notice is this inside track. There's a detent here, and then a thin track of nothingness between them. Let me demonstrate that for you. Put that side in there. We'll put this back in. We'll come back and get that in a minute. We'll put this. See, this is how easy this is to put back and forth together. Now I want to make sure that the ball and spring are in the middle hole so that it runs down that middle track. We'll do that. And that. Oops, gotta remember that's loose in there, so you have to sort of hold it in place with your fingers as you turn this over. And then slide that into the dovetail hole. Not very technical, is it? Dovetail hole. The dovetail slot. I'm going to push the spring and ball down with my thumb, and then push this tab in the rest of the way, or at least that far. And we'll go ahead and put this side back on. Now, we're only running on this middle track, which is kind of unusual. So it's like this. I really wish they had at least put a detent right in the middle of that track, right in the middle, so that it would stop and stay, because it doesn't stay when it's in the middle. So that track is pretty much useless to me. Okay, let's quickly get back to where we were. I'm going to put that one away. So I'm going to take this apart again, slide the knife in there. Let's just pop this side out. I don't want to pop open on just one side. I'll loosen up the whole thing. There's our plate. So we want to use this plate. We're going to put it in this slot. We want to store this plate. We'll put it over here. And then we'll put this back on. Let's give it a nice squeeze. That's what she said. And since we want, actually the spring and ball can stay right in the middle. It wouldn't matter if we moved it up to this slot or down to that hole, because all three tracks are the same. Now this gives you the option, if you have extra springs and balls, you could run up to three springs and 3 balls in this at one time, and that would give you quite a bit more of a haptic response. Same thing with this one. You could do the two outside tracks, and it would increase things. Again, I'm holding this loose plate in while I turn it over. Put the dovetail in the dovetail slot. Keep the spring and ball held down until I can get it in there. Now you hear the clicks. It's good. We can put this back on. Now see, if I put it on this way, that's interesting. I didn't point out yet, I don't think. I'll put it on and you'll see. This has to go a certain way. This is the incorrect way. So when it's closed, you end up with this part sticking out. So to correct that, you just simply have to take this and flip it over. So the square hole that I'm speaking of, this square hole you can see it's off-centered, which it didn't have to be, but in their planning, you'll see they have a little area here that looks like it might have been for a lanyard hole. There's even a tiny little detent down in there as though it's supposed to be for you to guide your own drill bit. Like if you want to drill a hole in this, they're saying, hey, here's where you could do it at. My thoughts are they probably planned on doing something. They probably planned on having these plates with a hole in them as well, and then decided against it at the last minute. I don't think that's there for us to do our own thing. But if you wanted to, you could. You'd have to be a little careful, though. I certainly don't want to do it. But, again, this has to be put on the right way. Now they line up. And we're back in business. And this is the new plate. This is 15 clicks. Either direction. I don't know if I showed you before or not, but then there's these you'll see those same symbols that are on these texture plates that are on the outside of the box. So each one of these little things is north, south, east, and west, according to the box. There you have it, I think. Well, no, I wanted to mention a little bit about the similarities between these two. When I saw this come out, and I had just bought this recently, I thought, I wonder if they're going to use the same kind of ideas on this. And they did. This operates almost exactly the same way. Here you have a part in the middle, your dovetail piece, and it can hold 3 springs and balls. This actually came with extra springs and balls. And then what keeps this lid on are the 2 magnets, 4 magnets. And whenever you put this back on, whoops, there's a hollowed out area right here that matches this part right here that sticks up. So that keeps everything together. It's just like this, with the exception that it doesn't have interchangeable tracks, which is a huge modularity feature, I think. Pretty awesome for $25. Hopefully they will come out like when these came out. Initially you could only get them in random colors, and I was like, well, I don't want to do that. It was only 25 bucks again, but I was like, I don't want to do that. And I waited, and eventually you got to pick what color you wanted. So hopefully you'll eventually get to pick what color you want with these, and maybe that'll make it a little bit more worthwhile for you. I like it. Pretty neat. Again, just like this, if they had made either one of these in metal, well, I don't know how you do the press fitting of the plates. That wouldn't really work out. But the idea of not having to use tools to disassemble and to fine-tune your toy is pretty interesting to me. So I think I'll close it up there. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.